Hello and welcome back to Tier Tuesday. My name is Prince Ryoshiro and today we are ranking social media. I'm going to be ranking all of the platforms here based on how useful and cool they are. So let's get started. Alright, first up we have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is obviously very useful if you want to be one of those people who has a job. It's not particularly fun or anything to LinkedIn and to network, but it's something you gotta do. Okay, up next is Deviantart. This is definitely a guilty pleasure. I think it is socially acceptable to have a Deviantart if you're an artist, but not exactly to browse it. Alright, up next is Discord. This is possibly the most useful app of all time if you play any games, and even if you don't, if you just have a community that you're interested in and you want to hang out in, like the Ryoshiro Discord, then Discord is absolutely essential to have. It's got a lot of cool bots that you can use, it's got a lot of features, it's nice to keep in contact with people. Threads are awesome and you should use them. I'm going to put it all the way up here at the top. Okay, up next is Reddit, which also belongs next to Discord most of the time. There are a lot of communities which are not actually that cool when it comes to Reddit, but if you hang out on the right parts of Reddit, you can find almost anything that you want, any kind of community, any kind of interest, and if it's not there, then you just make it yourself, and then you eventually make a Discord. So I'm going to put it right under Discord, but it is generally pretty useful and pretty helpful. Alright, iTunes. If you're using Apple products, you don't have a lot of choices, so both iTunes and iMessage are going to go in here. They are useful, at the very least, if you want to talk to other people and listen to music. Google Hangouts. I feel like this is pretty acceptable. I don't know anybody who uses Google Hangouts, but if you did, I probably wouldn't question it. Alright, WhatsApp is extremely useful when it works, which is not very often. So I'm going to put this in the socially acceptable tier. Okay, Quora is that one thing that you use that one time and you ask a question because it's burning in your mind, and then for the next 2 years you keep receiving messages about that particular item until you end up on an FBI most wanted list. Alright, Twitter. This is probably the hardest one to rank on this entire list because at times Twitter is amazing and you'll find interesting people with interesting takes and you'll love what they say and you'll laugh, and at times you'll wonder, why am I alive? Sometimes it's down here and this app should be represented by a dodo bird because it should be extinct, but sometimes it's all the way up here and you'll find what you need and it's really fun. So I'm going to put it right around socially acceptable. Alright, next is TikTok, which I think has a small argument for being in guilty pleasure. But, man, there's so much awful content on TikTok. There are some good things that emerge out of TikTok. There are some genuinely funny skit makers and all, but the majority of content on TikTok is throwaway and it's just not particularly appealing. I think this is Clover, which is a dating app. I never hear about Clover. I didn't even recognize it at first. I just think it is based on the color scheme, so I'm going to put this in extinct. If it isn't extinct, it's probably on its way. SoundCloud, pretty useful, obviously. It gives you exposure to music that you may not hear all the time, and it gives indie musicians exposure as well, so it's good. It's useful. It's nice. Snapchat, this goes in guilty pleasure. This is a way for teenagers to send other teenagers questionable things, and then they might not even be teenagers. Okay, so Facebook honestly feels like it's already extinct. If it's not extinct, I mean, it's probably getting close. I think that there are better ways to keep in touch with people that you care about now, other than Facebook. I can see the appeal of using it. Maybe it belongs in socially acceptable, but there is so much wrong with Facebook these days. I'm going to put it in the should be extinct here. I just don't think it's the platform of the people anymore. On the other hand, Facebook Messenger is actually pretty socially acceptable. It is a nice way to keep in touch with people that you care about and avoid a lot of the problems that plague Facebook in general. Alright, Instagram. This is basically be your own paparazzi. It has replaced and put all of the paparazzi out of a job because celebrities these days just take pictures of themselves. Turns out that the majority of people are a lot less offensive in pictures than they are in 280 characters. FaceTime, again, you don't have a lot of options if you're on an iPhone. Twitch. So Twitch is plagued by a variety of bad policies, but the actual platform and the creators who are there are not bad. There's a lot of entertainment there. It's pretty easy to find what you want to watch, and if you have general gaming interests, I think Twitch is pretty socially acceptable. Okay, so Pinterest. This is basically Instagram with a huge splash screen that prevents you from actually viewing any of the pictures that you want to view. I'm going to put this in guilty pleasure. Alright, Skype. I think this is extinct for sure. It might be used by a handful of people Apple as an alternative to Zoom, which by the way is very useful because education is cool. But I think Skype is on its way out these days. Spotify, the #1 app to use if you want to listen to music. This is useful and cool, I think. Steam, extremely useful, extremely cool. It basically defined gaming as a service, and Gabe is the man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think it is #1 if you play games. If you don't play games, obviously you don't use it, but it does what it does extremely well. You know, I think Tinder actually does what it advertises on the tin. Alright, it kindles the flame between two people. The majority of meetings on Tinder are going to be one-night stands or just random quick hangouts. But that's okay. I think that's okay. It serves the purpose that it's intended for, and so it is in the socially acceptable tier. Finally, we have YouTube, the king of social media, in my opinion. I think YouTube is something that everybody does. You'll find the people who use Facebook there. You'll find the people who use Discord there. Every one of these apps, everyone who is part of anything, probably uses YouTube. You can find streams, you can find informationals, how-tos, you can find comedy, you can find music videos, you can find gaming videos, you can find these tier lists that I'm uploading right now. And so YouTube, I think, is at the very top. I'm going to put it under Steam and Discord because it has some weird policies that prevent it from being better than these, but I think is definitely an S-tier platform. And that's me for today. I will see you again at next Tier Tuesday, where we will be ranking something else. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.